Hello, my dear viewers. Penser here, and this time around I'll be talking about 3 methods of writing comics that are based on partially my experience creating comics for about 5 years on a regular basis as of the time of recording this video, as well as some mentorship slash coaching slash teaching, or whatever you want to call it, that I have been taking here and there from. 3 that I want to mainly are the what I like to call winging it method, and the character-based method, and figuring out your ending and working towards that as you write it. Well, I'll just start with the character-based method, because that's what I'm most familiar with myself, and this thing that I'm working on right now actually somewhat relates. I'm afraid I can't talk about this a whole lot because it's an art commission, but what I can say is that it's a piece of 5-page comic related to a classic piece of literature. This one was very much driven by character, even though I don't know if this is the best example, because I didn't put a whole lot of effort into writing it, because it's already been written by somebody else a very long time ago. But I'll just do my best to discuss it. So the character-based method is where, as the name suggests, you have a character, as in, it can be a person, it can be a animal, it can even be a somewhat animate object, as in Transformers or something like that. And you write them a backstory, write them a personality, write who their friends are, who their enemies are, what their likes are, their dislikes are, and also, maybe most importantly, what their goal is, because that's going to inform the overall direction of the story that you should pursue with it, as well as some hoops and twists and turns and what have you that should come along the way. In the case of my personal graphic novel series, Day with Hope, that I'll link below, those characters actually also informed me what the world should be like, right? Because I knew that my guy David Hope, he's a soldier who is not happy with his job because he is constantly being forced to do a whole lot of vile acts through his job, and deep down he's a decent guy. So one day he goes like, well, screw it, I don't want to do this anymore, but he gets in trouble for that. superior officers. So I'll probably make another video or like a little pitch about it on my website or something like that. But what ended up happening with that one is that I wanted to know, like, well, why is it so much trouble for somebody to just quit their job? That's something you can do in real life also, and you shouldn't get into too much trouble for that, at least. I'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, so moving on to the ending based method of writing, in lack of a better term. So that's kind of self-explanatory also. But and a lot of people who are seriously into writing stories will occasionally tell you that it will be a power move to figure out your ending as early on in the writing process as possible, because that is arguably gonna inform what kind of events should take place in the story, what kind of twists should come and when they should come, and how it should be paced, and other intricacies like that related to storytelling. And yeah, if you don't want to do all of that, that's fine, I guess. Be warned that if you are trying to garner some kind of audience, or make some commercial success with the thing, then you may very well be setting yourself up for a little bit of trouble later down the line if you don't figure out a good ending. Because yes, you can make the argument that the entire piece matters more than just a little detail, which is the ending. But at the same time, I would say that a lot of people are gonna remember the ending, so no pressure, but you're gonna wanna put some effort into at least having a rough idea what should happen at the end. Yeah, that's something I would definitely agree with, and that's something I'm doing for yet again my graphic novel series, Day with Hope. Last method that I'll talk about, which is winging it. So yeah, for this one, I'll use, as I often like to use in discussions like this, like anime and manga series a lot, because those are the sort of niche in pop culture that I'm most familiar with. So yeah, that's for those of you who don't really know what that informal term winging it means. That's basically you jump into some kind of an activity with no plan at all. And since we're talking about writing, of course, that means that you have a comic, for example, and you just draw one page at a time, and you figure out the dialogue maybe as you're drawing it, and you may not even bother making any thumbnails for it, and it's really has a element of a lot of spontaneity in it. So yeah, if you're a hardcore anime fan or / manga fan, you will know about an author by the name of Hiro Mashima, and you will also know his famous series Fairy Tail, which kind of infamously had that kind of writing technique that I'm just describing right now. In one of the author comments section in his latter series, Eden Zero, he even wrote himself that was very much him winging it while he was working on Fairy Tail to... I'm trying to quote it correctly, but he said something along the lines of, I did often not even know what was going to happen in the next. Of course, with all due respect to you, if that feels more up your alley, but yeah, if you're working for a publisher of some sort, and for some reason you very compellingly manage to pitch your stuff to them to the point where they're gonna be fine without you having much figured out, then yeah, argue that a lot of publishers are gonna want to know where you're headed with the writing part of the project. So yeah, definitely if you're gonna collaborate with somebody like an agent or a publisher or what have you, then at least have the ending figured out. Preferably some sort of a middle point as well. But if you're independent, like I am for now, then hey, go for it if you wanna experiment with the winging it method. And at this point, I will mention, or I must mention, that this video is sponsored by a fellow YouTuber by the name of RCL Studios. I'll also link his YouTube page down below. But what happened at earlier today, as of the recording of this video, is that this really warm and we spoke about my stuff, and then one thing led to another. We spoke about some projects that he has in the works, and I inquired some stuff about that, and eventually I got to telling him pretty much the same advice that I've been. So as the discussion went on, he actually told me that I should make a YouTube video out of the advice I just gave him. And I thought to myself, like, well, okay, I've been meaning to drop some videos for various reasons for long, dude, why not? Something along those lines. And yeah, here I am about 6 hours or so later, after I got back from that outdoor hustling gig, as I like to call it. So yeah, it's basically I bring a table outside with me and promote my comics. And yeah, and I should also mention that he's not a healthy kick on the behind when it comes to that. So our RCL Studios, thank you very much for motivating me to come out here in this virtual space today and make this video. Okay. And yeah, that about wraps it up for this time. Yeah, feel free to drop some feedback. Tell me if you'd like to hear more, or if you're like this man I just mentioned about, and you would have an idea of another topic I could address, then feel free to drop a suggestion about that in either the comments below or my email, whichever one you're more comfortable with. Yeah, that being said, thank you for watching this. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see y'all in the next one.